happy weekend, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. Best things for you every weekend, and I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Now, if you have really been following our page on Facebook, you know we are interested in how kids are communicating with their parents recently. Yeah, and I say welcome to The Remedy. Welcome to AETV. If you have not been getting the gist lately, subscribe, hit the notification button, and share with your friends. I'm here with Claire, but we're not alone. Who am I talking about? Claire, how are you?
I'm fine.
What do we have this week?
I am so excited for this week and what we are talking about. And we are not alone. We are with Grace.
A mother.
Yeah. She's the operations manager of Grace and Family Events. She's a baker, she's an article writer, and we are so glad and honored to be seated with her today. Welcome to the show, Grace.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be on AETV today. Good evening, viewers. I'm so happy and blessed. And let's share about our kids today.
Yeah, you're welcome, and you're home. We're keeping some social distancing, otherwise, trust me, I would be all in these ladies today. Yes, so Claire, let's get into it. But I don't have kids, so I'm really counting on both of you right now. When we talk about communicating with kids, when is the right time that you start communicating with your kid? Right from giving birth to them?
Or yes, how do we communicate with the children?
With the children, even when they have not started talking.
Yes.
Communication with children, wow, it starts right before birth.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Mothers communicate with their children when they're still in the womb.
How?
I'm a mother, and I've been communicating with my children. Actually, I have 5 kids.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm an alongo. I don't know. I'm a mother of twins. I'm a set of twins. Yeah, they're 1 year old. So communication with a child starts way before birth. As in, when a child is inside the mother's womb, you can communicate, because they tell you that a child can change feelings according to what the mom is feeling. If you're sad, the baby in the womb, you won't play just because the mother is sad. When you're happy, the baby in the womb will be dancing. It will be making movements.
Wow.
Yes. So communication starts right before birth. But mainly today we are talking about communication with a child after birth. So communication, I should say, it's much of, it's verbal and non-verbal. A child learns from the parents, from the mother, from what you say or from what you do. Children are always looking at us, our movements, our words, our actions, and they learn from what we share with them, what we do.
Yeah. Actually, this reminds me, Claire, we were talking about it the other day, and you talked about how couples talk together around their kids, and how it affects them.
Yes, I think it definitely contributes a great deal. A child is going to listen to what you're saying between the two of you, or even if, let me say, you're a single parent, probably the way you communicate with the house help, the way you communicate with the neighbors, I think it also has a role to play in how the child is going to learn how to communicate with you and also with other people.
And the respect they're supposed to give to that other person you're talking to.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a very big deal.
Yeah.
So how do you and your spouse, you have a husband, right?
Yeah.
So how do you and your spouse connect so that, and what is the message you're trying to put to the kids? What are you trying to teach them?
So me and my husband, most times when the kids are around, we pray around with the kids. We make sure that we are happy, so that what they see in us is happiness. As parents, I advise you should never sort your differences or whatever negativity you have before your kids, because they'll be pretending or they'll be praying, but they'll be watching. A kid may not tell you mommy, you say this or that, but it will be concentrating somehow on you guys, and you won't realize it. Yeah, so whatever you say, whatever you do, how you dress, and maybe even the people we bring home, the house helps.
Yes.
Yeah, we should always mind them a lot. Maybe we can always brief them before we bring them into our homes. Have time, sit with your maid, tell them you have to do this and this for the sake of your children who will be watching, because most times these maids, and by the way I should say even teachers, they spend much more time with our children than us the parents. Yes, so these children learn a lot from the maids we bring home, from our neighbors, and the teachers, and most especially teachers.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
But when you talk about communicating with our kids, people are reading novels, people are reading books, and you're watching such shows to learn. But when is it hard? How hard can it be for you to communicate with your child? When is it hard? Like, okay, I don't know when to talk to my child.
Are there
When
those
do you
moments,
figure those moments?
when you feel you don't know where to start from? You're looking at your child and you probably don't know what is going on in their life or in their head. Do you have those moments where it's difficult for you to even start up a conversation or?
Yes. Sometimes you come home, you've not been home for the whole day, like us bakers, decorators, you're far away from your children. Then by the time you come home, now you find this one is seated in a corner with a gloomy face.
Yeah, and you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, you find the girl is just talking things you won't even understand. So you just sense there is something wrong with these kids. You're like, now where do I start from? Do I ask the maid? And sometimes some kids are funny. You'll call the boy or girl, try talking to him, and they'll just keep quiet. So you have to read maybe emotions. Just say that maybe last time it happened like this and this had happened. So find a way to sweet talk a child. Find a way to treat them so that you bring out what you want.
You get them to open up.
Yes, they'll open up to you as a parent, and maybe they'll tell you. So we have to be friends with our kids. We have to be friends with our children, so that even if they don't talk and you see she's so quiet, you have to know maybe this has happened because last time it happened like that, it was quiet. So since it's quiet today, it might be the same thing happening.
Yeah, and I think you have to learn your kids maybe, learn the way they've been communicating with you differently.
You get to study their emotions, their characters.
And then you have to notice that my child is different from me. We don't think the same way. And they all don't think the same way.
A child will always be a child.
And then you talked about, you have kids, you have girls and boys.
Yes.
So what is the difference between communicating with a girl child and a boy child?
My kids are still young. The eldest being 7 years, that is the boy, and the girl is 5, and the rest are younger. Now, I'll talk according to my very own children. My girl is always jolly, so she easily opens up, and the boy, you find him gloomy. He won't open up quickly. So I see that girls are much more different than boys, the way they react to different situations. And of course the boy is easily angered. He's short-tempered. What I see, but I think most boys are like that. Always naughty, they want to be bossy. So talking to a girl is much more easier than the boy.
What do you think?
I think I also want to think like her. I watch nieces and nephews. I think boys naturally are just born with their ego.
Even men.
So, of course, boys to men. So I think it starts even from childhood. You will actually notice that, like she was saying, the boy is bossy. He wants to be on top of the game all the time. I agree, and I think the girls easily show their emotions as opposed to the boys maybe. So there is definitely a difference.
A girl will cry if she's not happy.
Yes,
she's going to
she will cry about
if a
it.
boy is not happy with what you've done, he's not going to come and tell you, "Mommy, you've done this." No, they will become mad at you and run to their rooms and not say anything. Yeah, and that is not healthy. You have to understand that a girl and a boy, they don't communicate the same. You can't communicate to them the same.
Yes.
Yeah. So after knowing that, when is the right time to send your child out? Okay, when is the right time you feel like my child should start school, apart from the COVID and stuff? And how hard is it for you as a mother to deal with?
Yeah, of course, nowadays things have not been easy for us as parents. We are working, we wake up at around 5, prepare for the kids. We can't stay with the kids at home, so we have to send them to daycare as early as maybe 2 years. Yeah, so kids are now getting adopted to that way of living. At 2 years, someone is going to school, which wasn't our case.
And by that time they don't even speak real words.
No,
right?
they don't.
Yeah, I feel like
But teachers have a way of handling them back
yeah.
at daycares, at the nursery schools. Yeah, so our days it was something different. We used to go to school at around 5 years, I should say.
Yes.
5, 6 years there. But nowadays it's totally different. And the teachers, they have that great role. They play as parents in upbringing the kids. They impart them the knowledge we parents can't give to the kids. So going to school is more of a blessing to us parents, having the daycares, because at least you've seen how maids are treating kids. For the families that have managed to have CCTV footages, we've seen kids being mistreated by maids. So I think having daycares and preparing kids for school is always a better way for us. It helps us, gives us time for work. And most daycares, most schools, kids are out by 4. So they go now into the hands of the maids, and we take up at around 8 in the night as parents. So that's when you see it, and most parents don't do it. By the way, most parents come home at around 10, kids are sleeping. There are some people who don't see their kids for a whole week.
Yes, I've heard about that.
Or even months.
Yeah, get in at 11 p.m. and then the children will either leave you still sleeping, or
we have
you're going to
that
get
pick
up.
them at around 6.
Exactly. Or so we are going to wake up when they're already gone. A week can actually go by.
Money,
Yeah, we can actually go by.
So now the parents should think more than money. Because this money we're making is for just our kids, but we're not paying attention to what they're doing. And that's totally misleading them.
And they might grow.
They lack that parental care. They lack that parental love. Yeah, sometimes you find even a kid is calling a housemaid mommy.
Yes.
And then when you come, your auntie.
You're a stranger.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen it happen.
So we are being challenged.
Yeah, that can be hard.
Yeah, quite painful.
Anyway, I think you're still watching. Please, if you just joined us, we're talking about how parents are communicating with their children. We're going in a very short break, and we shall be back.
Welcome back from that short break. You're still on ATV, you're watching The Remedy. And before we went into the break, we were talking about communication with children and the upbringing and all the different aspects involved. So we would like to ask our guest today, there is a difference between tough love, if I choose to call it that way, and the respect, and let me also add the politeness bit. How do you differentiate to know that I'm going to love the child, give them their respect, and in return, it's not being tough on them, but they are scared to, talk to you and open up to you. They should not fear you as a parent. They are free, yes, they are free with you, they respect you, but then they're also getting the message. You're not being also too soft. How do you strike a balance?
Thank you. Now, with our children, you have to set boundaries somewhere. A kid, actually you have to, like what I do in my home, my kids, they have roles, they know what to do. Cleaning, simple cleaning is made by the kids. And that way, of course, you like them with hugs. Have you cleaned the compound? Have you picked? Come give me a hug. Or you just promise, now you give the promises, if you do this, I'll leave you to go and pray with the neighbors. If you do this, I'll let you watch TV. So you have to set simple rules that favor the kids, that will bring them closer to you, not being tough.
Yes.
Why didn't you do this?
Yes.
We've also seen situations where, let me say, a father comes back home and everyone is running for safety.
Happened.
That is so common. That is so common.
What brings
Most dads
Instead of running
tend to be tough for the kids than us mothers. Mothers are women, we are soft, and men are that military type. So the way we handle kids, we are friendly, we show them that love, and most things the kids will always ask from the mother. Mommy, I want this, and you provide. By the moment they say, Daddy, this, it will take 2 weeks. That is the list. Daddy, we want this. He comes back and forgotten. So kids tend to know that their dad maybe does not care.
Does not care.
But
these days, daddies are sweet though.
But maybe for us when we're growing up.
so it's not like mostly how it used to be anyway. I should say nowadays some parents are soft-hearted, not like us when your dad would come and you say, hey, Daddy. So everyone will be running in the house to hide, because dad is going to say, show me your homework, and you tell you, how do you feel to do this? 1 plus 1, you said 3. And mommy would be like, no, you add 1 plus 1 in that soft way. And of course kids will always have to be free with you than they are with the dad.
So there is always that one parent, a child is more free with.
They even come and say, has daddy come? Asking the mom, has daddy come?
So then they can tell who the parent, which parent they are, leaning closer to.
They're still explaining that up now.
So you set boundaries. Yes. So the tough love, what if sometimes the boundaries you're setting the child is not comfortable with? Because I've seen children, I can't mop the house, it's too much for me.
Of course, as a parent, you will see that what you're giving to a young child, maybe we say 2 to 4 years, you shouldn't give something that is too much for you.
Just what if with time, maybe you didn't do that, and then you realize that your kid is getting out of hand, so you're starting to set boundaries, and they're not used to that. I've seen this. Some kids start throwing tantrums. You tell them, I want you to mop the house, and
because these instructions are coming up later. They didn't, they didn't start a while back. So the child is also in shock. Like, why is mommy telling me to do this?
And they want to close themselves in the room.
And bang doors and kick out a jerry can. So that depends on how you brought the kid up, because you can't tell a 2 years old kid to mop a house. But as they grow, each stage they reach at, it's what you're supposed to give them. So like cleaning, if a girl is 6 years, that one can clean a table. And of course, it depends on what they are seeing from the mates, what they are doing. And you, the parent too, you have to be a role model to your kids. If they are seeing you clean, of course a girl will always be a girl. If she sees mommy is cleaning the house, she will come running to go. A boy will always be a boy.
You guys, I tried that. It didn't work out very well because when I was young, I used to see my mom mopping, so I used to fight to mop. And once I did it very well. My friend, from that day, I don't know.
She figured, so she's good at this, she can do it.
Yeah, so you're going to start mopping. They start with one room, next time they're going to be two. Until you don't like it anymore.
Wow, okay. So you're saying ideally this training should start from whatever age they are good at doing certain things. Because if you wake up late, definitely the child is going to
if you're good at researching, you see, you can get some books or even from social media platforms. You see what a child is supposed to do at each stage. Just like they teach them in baby class, there is something specific they teach them. P1, P2, then that's what they're supposed to be doing even at home. You can't just jump from nowhere and tell a boy, you go to the plantation and do this,
But what if I realize at a later age, what am I supposed to do? Okay, I've been missing out as a mother, and now that I've watched the remedy, I know what to do. But my kids are already somehow
past that stage where you should have told them certain things. Because we see it in our day-to-day life, even us out here in the working world. You meet someone probably who is your age mate, and there are certain things they have no idea about, and they were not trained. Or
now you set your time. Talk to the kids. If you want them to learn maybe how to peel, it's a girl.
Yes.
Now you as a mother, you go to the kitchen, call this girl, sit, give her a knife, show her how to peel, as maybe you tell some stories, show her that what you're doing is lovely, you're doing it for us to eat. So you peel as she peels, you just crack jokes with the baby and they'll come to love it that way. But don't force it onto them and say, can you sit there and peel? No.
When it is something that not you.
No, if you realize you didn't teach it to her and time is running out, just sit, tell her you're supposed to do this like this, and we shall eat and it will be sweet. Actually, when you're even eating, say, I'm eating this, but okay, you're the one who peeled it, it's
and
so
sweet.
And that way the child maybe will love what they're doing.
True. And then I think also we shouldn't try to make it too much. At our age right now, you'll hear someone saying, you know what, I hate doing dishes, I did too much of it. How would you strike a balance so that we don't grow up and 20 years later we are thinking, you know what, I hate mopping houses because I used to mop a house every morning.
I honestly do though.
I do not know how best it can be, balanced in there, so that even as the child grows, they are not tired of, these chores.
Now, the moment you tell a child, I hate this, what are you planting into that child? You're already giving that negativity to the child. You hate it, so that means she's going to hate it also. If mommy hates this, I hate it too.
True.
But that's what I was saying, you have to be positive as you talk to these kids, as you want to teach them something. Be positive, show them that it's good, show them the consequences. If you don't do this, this will happen. And maybe, of course, above all, as families, we have to always pray with these kids. Prayer somehow softens these kids, the hearts. You can give them stories related to what you want them to do. Buy some storybooks, tell them this one did this and something good happened, this one did this and it's very rich now. Or if you want to have this, then do this. And that way the kid will just be delighted, the kid will be happy to practice what you're showing them. Yes, as long as you're not showing any negativity.
True, So because like how we were being sent to school, we were never told that some of these subjects were going to be hard, but we were told you need to go to school, study, work hard, become an important person, be independent in future. But we were not told about the nitty-gritty of waking up at 5 a.m. to go and read, or reading up to 11 p.m. Or how the subjects are hard and etc.
They did not tell us.
So indeed the positivity that you speak into a child matters.
Do parents make mistakes with kids?
Of course.
I do. What are you supposed to do? Because yeah, they do. What when have you made a mistake, and what are you supposed to do if maybe you were rough with your kid and
you realize later that you are also out
yeah.
of line.
And you know, sometimes you might have been in the field and you come home stressed. So that stress, maybe they come to say, mommy, like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And when you reach in your bedroom, you're like, what did I do to these kids? So you have to make up your mind, just put on that smile, now come back to them and smile and say, how are you, Junior? How's your day? Try to convince them now. Let them forget about what they saw, what they had.
You don't get to say I'm sorry.
You have to, because now a child should learn to say I'm sorry, so that when it happens next time, she will be like, oh, mommy last time said she was sorry. Maybe the child will come and be like, mommy, I'm sorry, I did this. Yeah, because they fight, they do what. Most times when we reach home, you find lots of cases waiting. Mommy, this one has done this. Mommy. So you have to teach these kids to say sorry. So you tell her, okay, you say sorry to this one. They're like, sorry, give him a hug. Then they hug. Or even sometimes they refuse. So that is where you have to come in as a parent and be like, tell her sorry and give him a hug. I want you to be friends. Yeah.
So it's also important for parents to realize sometimes that they also err.
Oh yeah.
Because we do have parents sometimes who still want to be the mature people in the house, and then they'll not say sorry because they're thinking, oh, these are children. I don't owe them an apology. They are those parents.
And that way maybe the child will do the same.
Exactly. They won't see the importance of
coming to you and saying, mommy, I'm sorry, daddy, I'm sorry, I did this and this.
That reminds me, Claire, you were talking about teaching a boy how to be a gentleman.
Yes.
Yeah, and what they're supposed to do, and then ladies and what they're supposed to do. I did it in your home.
Yes, because now that one comes in to us parents. We have to be examples to these kids, teaching them to be ladies, to be gentlemen. Comes back to us and maybe the teachers, because kids spend a lot of time at school and their eyes are glued to their teachers and us the parents. So you have to start initiating them into that culture. If you want a boy to be a gentleman, dress like a gentleman, act like a gentleman. If you want your daughter to be a lady, a respected lady, dress like one, act like one, behave like one, and they will do the same. They won't divert.
It has to be taught away from childhood.
What are the qualities?
Even what actually there's even what we buy for these kids, how we dress them, what we feed them. Because I know there are some families you find they get money, give to a maid, you go and buy for these kids clothes. They don't even look back to see what she has purchased. So trust me, if she just gets some shabby things, the child will grow up shabby.
Yeah, obviously, because she wants to keep the extra money even.
Of course, of course.
Speaking of raising a boy child and a girl child, I keep hearing this a lot out here when we've already grown up. There is this complaint that the 21st century lady has. We were raised to make good wives, but no one raised good husbands for us. Should we say that the boy child should also start being trained? Because I feel like the learnings for the boys come in later, and then the girl child on the other hand is complaining. Is more attention given to the girl child than the boy child naturally?
That is easily seen by everyone. A lot of energy is being put to the girl child.
You're supposed to treat a man like this. You're supposed to cook for them.
You're supposed to be like this.
You're supposed to do this.
And then I feel like sometimes the boys are left out. I feel like sometimes the boys are left out. So how do we should see how to strike a balance so that as they are busy raising me up here to be a good lady, there's a gentleman also being trained somewhere, right?
Now our culture has been biased for long, I should say. They just see the woman as most cultures still see the woman as a household item.
As a submissive being.
They don't want to see what the man is doing, they don't want to see what the boy is doing, but all attention is put to the ladies. You do this Even most families now, they still blame the woman for anything that happens to them.
True.
If a child is
Anything that
bad, it is
happens,
the mother's
the
child.
mother
There is
to
even a
blame.
saying that is, yeah, for real.
true.
A bad child belongs to the mother and a good one belongs to the father.
Yeah, that is true.
That is, and it's not
Yeah, that's why you'll always hear someone saying, "How did your mother bring you up?"
Yeah.
Not your father,
Yeah.
your mother.
Yeah, it's always your mother. Yeah.
So which tells us that a mother has a big
Has a big
role.
role.
And sometimes
Right.
I think even when they are seated there and they are talking, the dad will be like, "Ah, that one looks like the mother."
Yeah.
They just don't. They leave every duty of the child upbringing to
the
us
mother.
women, and
So what are
it's
those?
like men are busy making money,
Yeah.
and women are supposed to
Be busy
be with the
raising the
kids.
children. Yeah.
What are those qualities we should instill in our boys now to make them different from the men we
Yeah,
think?
from the men we think we are
have already-
seeing
yeah.
walking around.
There are so many of them, but the biggest I should say, as they teach these ladies how to pray, God is always the first.
Yeah.
Teach the men how to pray. Teach these boys how to pray. Because if God is in between us, we join hands together, pray for these kids, pray for our family, everything will be fine. Because sometimes when you pray, I always pray with my kids, and most times after praying, they open up and tell me something. Mommy, this happened. Can we pray for it?
Oh, nice.
So God,
It has become a culture in the
Yeah.
family.
yes.
God at the center of it all makes things.
But you'll always see it that men don't pray.
Yeah.
Henry.
Yeah, it is.
Is it true?
So one of the qualities that should be installed in our men is this prayerfulness.
Yes.
They should learn to pray. Then they should be taught to respect women.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pull
Because-
doors,
Yes.
pull chairs, please.
You know, if yeah, besides even, you know, that, the whole respect, you know, sometimes you'll be somewhere and you'll notice the way that gentleman is addressing the lady and the way he's addressing a fellow gentleman are so different.
Yeah.
And you're thinking to yourself, we are both human beings. Why are you giving respect to another gentleman? But then when you turn and look at a lady, you can just talk to me, you know, with any tone.
Yeah, because you
I think
think
it
you're low
is
in the
something that,
society.
yes, I think it's something our gents need to be trained and something they need to learn.
Yeah, even by the going by the cabinet that was out yesterday, that
Yes.
you saw more of ladies being put in that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now,
Means-
I read a comment that someone said, this is a women's cabinet. I don't know what they're going to produce.
Yes, I've seen it. Yes, I've
Yes.
already.
This is
I've
So
already-
they just see that what the
I've already
president
started
did
seeing that. Yeah.
wasn't right to have women on that cabinet.
Yeah, it's especially there is this one position they're over questioning. How can the prime minister be a lady? How?
Yeah.
But why?
Meanwhile,
She can
meanwhile,
also
they
get
want
it
a lady
done.
to bring up a well-behaved child, but they think that a lady can't bring something productive to the
Exactly,
country.
to the table. Yeah.
That is so
It's
insane.
quite sad, but
Yeah.
yeah, we can
Yeah,
only
so we
keep
should
learning as
really-
time goes on. Yeah.
We should change the minds of our boys
Sure.
at a better age.
True. Yeah. So still.
Yeah, and men should be told that the child upbringing is not for only mothers.
Yeah.
It's a joint thing. It should be for both parents. You sit, talk to your kids, or maybe if you're so busy Monday to maybe Friday, let the weekend be for the kids. Let them see you sharing this love, and it will be planted in their hearts, in themselves that, yeah, when I grow up, I want to be like mommy. It's so sad to just listen to your kids saying, I want to be like mommy,
another
this,
woman.
someone outside of your home, because you people are not
You people are
sharing
not
anything
chat.
together. Yeah, mommy comes
Yeah.
in, grooming goes into the bedroom, then dad comes in.
Yeah.
They don't sit and laugh when the kids are looking. They don't share supper. Yeah, it's so sad.
That must be sad.
Yeah,
Like, for
that's
real.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. There's so much to learn, definitely.
Yeah, there is
with
a
being
lot.
a parent and this parenting. So, in our today, the world is moving so fast. We have all sorts of developments that come up every other day.
Yeah.
So technology is advancing every day, every day. There is this on TV, there is this on radio, social media came,
Netflix.
you know, Netflix, name it. And we have all these gadgets at the children's disposal. So how do we limit the technology? At what age? Per age, what should a child be exposed to? Because we've seen cases where a 7-year-old is having content of a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
How it's so difficult, I know these days.
Without parents' knowledge.
Our kids nowadays are so exposed in a way that we ourselves don't know. You might not have those gadgets as you're saying, but they'll find them outside.
Yes.
You find you don't have a phone, but the neighbor's kid has a phone. So whatever is there, you don't know. You're just here trying to keep the things from your kids, but they are so much exposed, even maybe more than you.
True.
And they don't talk to you sometimes.
So that's why you should be free with your kids. Because innocently they always tell you,
yes,
I've seen this, I saw this at maybe Marvin's phone, I saw this in this one's phone, then this one told me this. And there is no way we can hide the things from our kids.
Yeah, but then how do we limit it?
But it has become difficult to limit.
No, they don't. They have tabs.
They are still young.
Tabs with our cartoons. They just use cartoons. But we, as parents, we can limit them. If at least you're so lucky that the kid comes and tells you, I saw this in this neighbor's phone. So you know that you have to now limit that movement to the neighbor, because he or she is going to be exposed to something that will distract him.
That is true. That is true. Like I was chatting with you earlier about the children who are in the neighborhood where I stay.
Yeah.
So I'll leave the door open, and then they'll just walk in, and then
there is TV.
There's a certain PG-rated scene being watched. You know, so the child sees it. So you see how it becomes difficult. And maybe if you're someone who doesn't care, I'll just keep watching. I'll even offer the child a seat. That is what happens, and then they end up watching the whole, the whole movie, the whole documentary.
And with this time, lockdown is back again. Kids are home.
Yes.
They are in charge of the remote. You'll change to any channel you want. They will not watch
they might
cartoons all
bump
day.
into anything.
Yeah, so they might bump into anything beyond their age. And of course, kids as kids, they'll be excited and just watch.
They'll be excited, because it's something different from the usual, you know?
So I think we have to limit what they do in this lockdown. Maybe you can devise means to make them busy.
Yes.
From the social media, from the TVs that expose them to things that are beyond their age. Maybe you can decide to hire a teacher to come and teach them from home and occupy them. You can get games to make them busy, not to go to the TVs, not to run to the neighbors. And of course, the girl child has suffered.
She has a lot to do during the lockdown.
Even my girl at home, she can't sit. Even if you try to distract her with those games and what, she's always out. She wants to go to the young twins and play them. So you have to limit the people that are coming into your home. Of course, to be safe from this COVID, and of course not to expose the kids to different people, because different people have different thoughts and intentions. You can't know what someone is coming for. Or they will come and spot your daughter, then they start lying them with the sweets and what. Next time you don't know what happens. So we have to limit their movements. We have to be keen with what they put on, how we dress them. Then these gadgets, our phones, of course they're not safe. You're not on WhatsApp, you don't know what someone has sent your phone. And our phones, of course, most of them, they just download. Before you know it, the child is holding your phone and is in the gallery looking at something weird.
They always go to the gallery first, surprisingly.
They know how to.
They're just watching something weird and you're like, oh my God.
They even know how to go on YouTube.
I tell you, these boys, these young kids know much than you know. You just ask someone, when did you get this? Maybe it was in your phone. You're like, what?
You talked about them telling you what they have seen from neighbors. How can you get information, effective information from your kids, like without them hiding stuff from you?
Like
What
like
tactics
get
you
them to
use
really open
to freely
up,
open up to you without hiding some information from you.
Yeah, to do that, you have to, of course, you have to befriend your kids. You should be the first friend to your best friend to your kids.
And it's not always obvious. But
And now in the evening when you come home, of course, that is when you come home and they're not yet asleep, because most kids when they sleep sometimes they tend to forget. So when you come, just try to tell them my day was like this, I did this, I saw this, so that they just feel free to open up and
also
tell
tell you
you,
about
yes,
their
now
day.
my day was like this, I went here, I saw this. When you come, just try to share some stories with them. Let them tell you what they did throughout the day. As you also share, maybe you never know if she's not I should say hard-minded, they'll open up and tell you this happened, I saw this, and that way you find a solution. Maybe you can go to the neighbor and talk to them. They also might not know that their kid is exposed to something like that.
And then also if you find maybe you have a hard-headed child, okay, sorry, that sounds a bit hard, but sometimes it's like that.
Maybe you should say stone-minded.
Would a parent be okay availing a third option? For example, I'm not free with talking to my father or my mother. Would it be okay if you recommended maybe like their favorite auntie or their favorite bigger cousin? Are parents okay with that? I know you still want to be the best friend they run to, but what if we are still not that comfortable with you? Yeah, as a parent, are you comfortable with calling up your sister, for example, and you say, what, talk to your nephew, talk to your niece, if they find it easier to talk to them? I don't know if that option is ever okay with parents, irrespective of the age of the child.
Yeah, sometimes it works, but still with our kids,
it's still your child. You're the one who lives with them.
Yeah,
but it works, right?
Yeah, it works. And sometimes they have these good teachers at school.
Yes,
a child will always share with the teacher what can share with you. And maybe most times even teachers realize something is wrong with our kids more than us parents.
So you should always get information from the teachers.
Even
you need to
befriend the teachers. Yeah, they'll always see how the child behaves at school. Yeah, they'll see their mood swings. They'll tell you something is wrong. Yeah, and maybe for them as teachers, they are used to being with kids of different backgrounds, characters. So they'll easily tell something is wrong, or they'll find a way to make them open up. Yeah.
And I always hope that those teachers are willing to come back to that.
Teachers really do a tremendous job.
Some parents are always so harsh on the teachers. You find a parent, you don't know the class teacher of your kid, maybe you don't know the best teacher. You find there is always that best teacher whom all kids love. So as parents, you should always take that initiative to know.
When you drop the kids, say hi to the teacher who has come and pick the kids, or when you come to pick the kids up from school.
There is that teacher, the kid will always say, teacher this, that one.
There is that prominent name that is coming up. Yeah,
that is very true. Should we go in a very short break? Yeah, a very, very short break, and we'll be back. Trust me, the conversation is still going, and we're coming with more gist. You're a parent out there, I think you're learning one or two. Yeah, Madam Grace is really teaching us a lot. I'm also learning, as I'm feeding. We're still on The Remedy with Jenny and Claire. We're coming back.
Got the ball. What a block by LeBron.
Welcome back from that short break. You're still on the remedy. Yes, we're with Grace. And by the way, I told you she's a family events. What? Family events, what? Planning events. Yeah, something. Yeah, so you can, in case you want a nice cake or you want her to plan your event to a success, by the way, and it will be live on ATV, you can call her on 070-255-91220 or 077-555-9122. Yes, and you'll get your best cake ever, and you can even call me and I'll talk to her and you get your cake. You're still on ATV and we're talking about how to communicate with your child. The communication between a parent and a child can actually be so effective on how the child is going to communicate in the society, what they're going to pass through. But when it gets to the talk, ladies, how efficient are we, or is it even necessary? You know that talk I'm talking about, the sex talk. When are we supposed to give children the sex talk? At what age? When are we supposed to stop, if we are ever going to stop? Or is it even necessary?
How much information we even giving at whatever stage they are at?
Yeah.
So I personally think the sex talk should start at puberty stage, when puberty sets in, and that is mostly maybe at 8 years, 6 to 8 years most. Okay, we all don't go into puberty at the same stage or the same age. Yeah, but starting from 6 years, our kids are so exposed nowadays. You'll be thinking 8.
I was actually looking at you like
8
6.
years. My God is
Still little. No, in our days, 6 I was still little.
You'll be thinking at 8 years, my girl is so young, and you like, the moment you start mentioning it, now she starts giving
she starts
information.
educating you.
Wow.
And you're thinking, oh, I thought this was the appropriate time.
But isn't that good though? At least then she's not going to hide things, and you're also going to freely open up to her.
Yes. And they tell you that you shouldn't be so negative about sex when you're talking to these kids.
Yes.
Be positive.
Yes.
Don't tell them don't this.
Yeah.
Don't this. As in
don't
showing them it
language,
is totally bad. No.
Tell them facts.
Tell them facts. Tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Let them learn. After all, they will come to know. Even you tell them don't do this, and actually you might find someone already knows. You're just telling him don't, and he's like, what?
Yeah.
Just looking at you like this in amazement, because you already know
this.
Yeah, so sex education should start majorly at 8 years. Yeah, you know, girls tend to grow faster than boys.
Yeah.
So I think it's the girls that should start at 6, and they are more vulnerable than the boys. Yeah, so that is when you should tell them private parts. What is private?
Yes.
What should be seen by the people outside, and what shouldn't be seen.
Yes.
And why shouldn't they see it?
Yes. Yeah, so boys too have to be taught.
Yeah.
Because actually this lockdown has taught us a lot of things. It's where I saw a brother impregnating a sister.
Wow.
Just because they were in the house and all. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think if they had been exposed, because from that story their mother was so busy, their dad was out of the country, they were left with a maid.
Wow.
So they were always on TV, no one knew what they were watching. I think
Why couldn't go on the maid at least?
But later on they found that the maid was also involved in that.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so I think sex education should start as early as 6 years. But of course, not the first time. You can't just expose anything.
All the information.
Yes, you just teach them slowly by slowly as they grow up.
How do you do it? How you wake up one morning and you're like,
Let's have
Claire,
a talk.
let's have a talk.
Let's
Oh my god,
discuss.
that's scary.
I used to think it's hard.
How
I
do
also
you
want
do
to think
it?
it's a hard one.
Personally, I've not done it. Personally, I've not done it, and I also think it's a hard topic.
You will cross that bridge when you get
Yeah, because
there.
back then we had these senior women at school.
Yes.
There are the people who taught us that, not our parents. I think they are also shy to tell us.
My
about
mom
that.
did.
Yes.
My mom did.
Yeah, some parents. Of
Yeah,
course,
some
yes.
parents very did, but
But I
me
always used
personally
to
they
dodge
didn't.
it. I always used
It's
to
a very
to want to
uncomfortable
dodge it
conversation.
because I think I was somehow old. I was like
You're
already.
already shy.
I was already like 13 there. Yeah, so I felt like no, I shouldn't be saying these things with my mom. But she was really willing to tell me.
One important
Don't
thing,
let her write
one important thing Grace has said is when you're communicating, don't make it negative. Bring it out in a positive manner. That whole don't do this, don't do that. You know, some girls when they were growing up, they were told boys are bad. How
Yeah.
can you make such a statement? What do you mean boys are bad?
You are married.
Someone
has
what
a
do you mean
father.
boys are bad? So someone grows up throughout their teenage, even in their 20s, someone is still thinking, no, mommy said boys are bad. I want to think we should take away that statement, honestly, because you're branding the entire boy child bad, which ideally is not true.
Yeah.
Or you're told, oh, the girl child is like this. I think we should, the way I will pass on this information is clearly very important.
Yeah, should be according to the way we would want to be treated. You as a lady, how would you want another mother to describe you to her son? You see, instead of you saying boys are bad to your son, that means the dad is bad, the brother is bad, like all the boys are.
Your son is also bad.
Yeah, your son is also bad.
Yeah.
Yet you are of course proud that you're a good mother and your son is good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you've not told me how I'm going to call it the child.
She will cross that bridge.
No, I still sort of think about it. Yeah, because I've not done it yet. I don't know. I think I'm getting it, but I think I'll handle.
And these
I
things
don't
happen.
know.
I told you how I had my neighbors telling each other, your belly is big. Your boobs are starting, so they're already noticing.
Yeah,
and those
they notice
kids are
the
young,
changes
like,
themselves.
They're like 9, but they're noticing themselves, their
Changing.
bodies, and of course they're already noticing that some
body
other people
changes.
are
Also
looking at
noticing,
them.
yes.
Yeah. So if you don't give them that information, like at that time you're scared or what, they might perceive their own information.
Of course.
Yeah, like the story you told me about the lady who was used by the border.
Oh yes, I read it somewhere on social media. There was this little girl, the parents were both busy. You know how we have the vans picking up the children and dropping them. So this particular girl was being picked up by this one border boy who would rope her on the way to school every day. But I think the child, either the parents were too busy, because I think they would come back and somehow she wouldn't talk about it, until this one time she showed up at school and the teacher noticed something was unusual. Pulled the girl child aside and the lady started talking how it had been going on and on with this particular border boy. So you can see, they were in totally different worlds. Quite a sad story.
If the kid was informed that there was sex as a thing before,
The bad touches.
Yeah, the bad touches, and she would be knowing that what this guy is doing to me is not good.
That's why they tell you should always talk to your child every day. Every day, because they face a lot of things we don't know. And moment you don't be friendly to the child, they'll never tell you.
Yeah, that is true.
Or maybe with time you see it as something normal.
I think we get carried away.
Because you see now, you say it's the teacher that realized that something was wrong.
Exactly.
And it had been
going on for a while.
Yeah, so information is knowledge indeed.
Yeah, it is.
If she knew
communication, the way you communicate to your kids, the way you're free with your kids.
Yeah, that is so painful. Yeah, it is very, very painful. But anyway, so when someone like me, if you have an old daughter in future, is there any time you should stop giving sex talk? If they have grown, maybe they have reached at campus and they have come back from campus, is there any period you should put it in?
And now you know that
trust me, you're going to
child is
get
big
there.
enough. Yeah,
course.
so you don't have to go on with this talk, they know it all.
Yeah. Or you
No,
don't should be like that.
I
That
think
stage never.
I think there is a stage where you have to stop, and maybe to be the child now coming in to say,
To
"Mommy,
say.
how do I do this?" Because a child will always be a child before the parents. I'm still a child before my parents. If something is wrong, maybe I can run to my mom and say, "Mommy, this.
Yeah.
How do I handle this? I'm not." Then she would tell me. Because as we grow, we get we know that now sex is something broader than.
And isn't that
adults.
the time mommy should tell me more? Like when I know that it is now it's
That
okay.
is it.
If I'm
Whatever
already
you need to
married.
know, she will definitely open up to you because now
You know,
you're the
nowadays,
one who is
I have-
interested.
oh,
You can
Parents,
ask.
parents tend to shy away from this topic. Now we've got these online singers, we've got what they're taking it up.
Yeah.
They have pages, you can just type this, I want this up. You find it. But of course, there are some things that we always need that privacy. You want to tell it to your mom, you don't want to just rush into things. Maybe she can
Yes.
help. So I think sex education, the bigger part of it stops when a child comes to this campus age. They're at campus, university. They have already know
They're
most of it.
independent,
They
yeah.
can go to YouTube.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
They can
Sure.
go to anyone, get the information
Yeah, and
they
from
want.
friends.
And even they won't come asking for this.
I
and
got
that.
True,
sex
they
talk from my friends, Daphne, Claire. Oh god, I got sex talk. Yeah, I did.
So yeah, which finally brings me to this. At what age? I don't know if it happened. Or parents out there can tell us. At
Yeah.
what age does a parent let a child go and let them be? You know how, like you said, they always look at us as children. At what age? Is there a stage where a parent gets to and they're thinking, okay, it's okay. Let me
She will
stop
take
worrying
care of
about,
herself now.
she's good out there, he's good out there. Does that stage ever come?
I greatly doubt.
Even after
because
marriage.
even at whatever, even us at our age, the parents still worry about us. And
You spend 3 days without calling, she will call and
Yes,
say,
she
"You
will.
fine?
Are you
You're
okay?"
so quiet."
Mine will get mad. Yeah, she will be mad
she's
at
still
me.
worried.
You miss her calls, she will say, "Okay, you don't even want to pick my
don't-
phone, I won't call you again." But 2 days after, she will call and say, "You're not calling
You're not
me, are you
calling."
fine?"
And I've realized
yeah,
that as
so that
parents
it never
grow, they become like kids. Their emotions change.
Yes.
Like my mom, you refuse to pick her calls.
Yeah.
She will call, next time when she's talking to you, she can't even tell.
She will first-
like
yeah.
she will be. She's like a baby now.
So they literally never let us go.
Yeah.
We remain children in their
A
eyes.
child will always be a child before the parents.
Oh, okay. This has been very great. Thank you so much, Grace, for coming. And I hope to just your cakes one of these days, right?
Soon, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remy is going to really order one of these days. Thank you so much for coming. You've been so helpful. You've given us information. I think I'm someone ready to be a mother.
Well,
Okay, I'll keep that.
I'll always play around to assist you.
No, yeah, but thank you so much for coming. Claire, has something to say?
Yeah, thank you so much, Grace, for being here with us. We've definitely learned, we've shared a lot. We hope our viewers have also learned a thing or two.
Yeah.
And please hit us down in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Give us your thoughts, give us your views, and let's keep sharing and learning from each other.
Yeah.
Yes, let's not forget.
Yeah, what is it?
Yes.
The guest. Sorry for cutting you short. Oh
And
my
next
god.
time.
Yeah, so thank you so much for hosting me. I'm very happy. Yeah.
More.
Yeah, it's been our
So my
pleasure.
last advice to parents is that give time to your kids, give time to the children. They need you more than leaving them to those mates. We don't know that their backgrounds. We don't know what happens during the day. Even these cameras we install in our houses might not give us what we need because they don't see each and every corner. So I advise parents to give more time to their children because the money they are hustling for now is made for the kids. But if the kids are not fine, I tell you that money will be meaningless. So thank you. And as they told you, I'm a baker. You can follow my page on Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, and we can always chat.
Remind them the name of the page.
And It's in the names of Grace and family events. We do cakes and decor. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, for being with us. Thank you for watching A8 TV. Please be safe. We are in the middle of a pandemic. We are in the second wave. Please wear your mask. Maintain social distance. If you don't have to go in public, do not. Sanitize, wash your hands as often as you can. Let's keep safe and let's be each other's brother's keeper. From the Remedy team, till next time, bye.
Bye.